Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, welcome our race fans. We're here tonight, Five Kings Motorsports, Crooked Line Racing, for some super late model action. These guys tonight definitely on a tricky style track. And I hope I say it right, Smyrna. I always get the name wrong. I think I always want to say like Samira or something like that, but I think it's Smyrna. It's kind of weird how you say the last part, but you know, these late models here lately, Alex, these guys have, it's a short track, series. And a lot of these tracks being as short as, we definitely know they're short tracks. And a lot of these tracks being as short as they are, been very hard to pass. And a lot of times, once you get out front, you really don't want to pit because you don't want to give up that track position.
And seeing how you bring that up, I'll first start off. I think it's Smyrna too.
Yeah, I mess it up a lot.
Smyrna. Smyrna. I'm gonna go with Smyrna too. I mean, it used to be called Daytona Raceway way back in the day, but New Smyrna is what we'll leave it at. But nah, man, I'm pretty pumped for an exciting race here tonight with this group of guys. Smyrna, Mr. Coffee?
Smyrna? Okay. All right. Sounds good. Green flag. We're racing, though, and I tell you, guy, we're going to have to keep our eye on, obviously, Chris Carroll. You know, normally we're used to seeing him come through the field, but they're already giving him the top spot out front, and we know him coming through the field. Once he gets up there, it's hard to get him back out of that top end.
Yeah,
well, hey, that's all right, Coffee. Hey, man, look, I'm wrong a lot.
At least we're trying.
Yeah. Smyrna.
I still read it.
I'm from the South, and a lot of those words just don't come out right. My Southern accent kind of plays tricks on me.
Yeah, and I'm from Chicago, so pretty much Canada too, and you don't hear it come out in my Canadian accent either.
Yeah, he's neutral there. He don't know which way he's coming. I know a lot of words that I try to get out. They just don't. Good battle going on here. Jason Raymond right there on the outside got Tanner Marr. Oh, car around. That's Brad Carpenter. Is he going to get back on the track? Yep, got back going. Hey, we try Kelly. Now, I don't know if you know who Kelly is out there, Alex. I know you were out at work last week, but Kelly actually is Alex Coffey's mom.
Ah.
So, hi, Mom. Coffee right now has got a nice looking machine out there tonight. And he had an unusual race last week. His race last week, he actually had a pretty good run and then got caught up and hit the wall late. Just bad stuff.
I'm gonna go into a little bit of track stuff here real quick at New Smyrna. I don't know. We're just gonna chalk it up to this racetrack. We got a half-mile track. Kind of looks from the top. It kind of looks like a Martinsville-esque racetrack. But the banking, you got some steeper banking here, 18 to 20 degrees here in the turns. So definitely not Martinsville-esque banking to it, but that's kind of the layout I'm getting. But like you said, we definitely get some intense short track racing here on this Monday night series with this group of guys. So what else could you expect besides a short track like this one?
And you're right, a lot of these tracks being as short as they are. We've got Brian Yo right here hanging on to the fourth place spot. He's trying to trail the back end of Coffee. And I know we got out there, Thomas said he tested the setup that they got tonight with Carroll. A little bit loose on the start. Very tough to hang on to until the tires heat up. And that's kind of, to me, that's kind of how a setup probably should work. A little really loose until the tires get, the heat, the traction into them, till they're going. And what that does is should calm the driver down at the beginning. But yeah, you never know though. Some of these guys.
Yeah, it seems like some of these guys, you can give them a Flintstone car and they'll still get up there.
Absolutely. Tanner Marr hanging on to sixth place, got Joshua Sexton right in front of him. Jason Raymond back in the seventh place spot. Brian Mettler up tonight. Look at Frank Barb having a good run. Ninth here so far. Willie Evernham right behind him in 10th.
Yeah, it's looking like we got a little smaller of a field here too.
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
Usually
But
I
it
used
is
to
a
see
small
him probably
track, so-
close. We usually see him close to what, 18, 19, 20 or something with this group of guys.
Yeah.
A little bit less than that, but
If you're
don't
looking for
worry.
a good league, hey, there you go. Come on out here to the Crooked Line.
Yeah, and like was brought up earlier with those tires heating up, you could see it. I mean, he put it pretty good in the YouTube chat right there. I don't know if it showed up on Facebook either, but I mean, it looked a little squirrely on those fresh set of tires. So we'll see. Once these guys warms up, we'll get some guys slinging it around this racetrack here.
Absolutely. Kelly said, everybody must be watching football. Who knows what's going on in the football season this weekend? Who knows where everybody's at? But hey, still good group of guys out here tonight. You've got right now a good battle going on here. It's around about the 9th, 10th place spot. We talk about that every week. It seems like you got Scotty Stevens, Willie Everingham, Frank Barr.
Yeah, these guys coming in. Good battle going on right here still. This battle's been going on for a couple laps. Or I'll say more than a couple laps. These guys have just been kind of hanging out here for a little bit. That'd be Stevens, Everham, and Barb. I don't want to call him Barbary or Barbary.
I just call him Frank Barb.
Yep.
That's kind of what me and
There we
Tanner
go.
came to on Tuesday nights because I can't pronounce the last name, so we just go Frank Barb.
We can't pronounce tracks. We can't pronounce last names. You might as well just go back to talking about fried chicken.
Hey, good stuff. Carroll, though, the
Absolutely.
man out front, I'm going to tell you, every time he gets out front, he just kind of walks away.
Right in group right behind him, that, probably second through, 5th, 6th right there? They're all super close together, so we'll see. You got Zimmerman, Coffee, Sexton, Marr coming into this group. You got some heavy hitters right here trailing behind them. All the way to probably Mettler there in 8th, I'm guessing, but...
Oh, Mettler back there right there.
But this is pretty close. Usually at this point you'll see a little bit more stretched outness to the race, but I think with everyone kind of having to warm up their tires and not worry about slip sliding away off into the next zip code or something, they were kind of keeping it under wraps, and now they're all still pretty close. So, man, this is what short track racing is like.
And again, it takes us back to hard to pass, and right there hanging on to 6. You see all these guys kind of running on the line. They're about dead even. You talk about lap times. The leader ran at 18:03. Keith back there ran at 18:23. That's what, 2/10 separating this field. And even what's more impressive is not just the 13th place man, but the 12th and 11th place ran at 18:13. So that's only a 10th separating this whole field. That tells us right there that it's definitely hard to pass, hard to come through the field. A lot of these guys are just running dead even.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if there's going to be any pit strategy here tonight, because I mean,
Just there's caution.
yeah, right. I mean, there's a decent amount of times we see if it's a cautionless race or maybe one caution. Sometimes you'll see guys that don't even pit, and that is not. It's not foreign here in this group of guys. I mean, some of these guys are risk takers, and it really works out for them sometimes.
Yeah.
So we'll just see.
And
how
you
it
bring
transpires.
that up too. You talk about the pit strategy and the pits. A lot of times, like a guy like Carroll, he's definitely not going to pit as long as he stays out front. And the caution, the only way I'd say he'd pit is if the caution flew at the right time, the right part of the track, or right lap, and everybody else went in behind him. But as long as this thing stays like it is and he stays out front, I'd put money on the fact that he's not going to pit.
I'm not going to bet against you on that one, Joe. I think I'll just put my chips on the same block you put your chips on.
Coffey's still hanging on to third place. He's trying to hammer down on Zimmerman, who is in second. You got Yo hanging on behind him in third. Joshua Sexton into fifth place. Tanner Marr on sixth. So again, it's kind of a freight train, and that's probably the only way we're going to see a pass right here. We're seeing, you saw Yo right there kind of slip up the track. Sexton's going to be able to capitalize on that mistake. I think that's about the only way you're probably going to see pass and maybe going on, unless we get a bump and run happening.
Yeah, I thought it was a little too early to bring in run, because what I was just thinking while you were saying that, Joe, is that track position here, especially at these tracks where it seems like it's really single groove. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see everyone end up in the same groove, and everyone's just biding their time, waiting for a mistake to happen, so one, two, couple of guys or something like that can capitalize on it, like Sexton and Tanner are doing right now with Yo getting shot up the track going into that turn. So it looks like he can cut back down right there pretty good, minimize the damage to only 2, but
what makes it even worse too is we was just talking about pit stops. I mean, normally you could with a single groove track, you can make up some time and make up some positions, on pit road or pit stops or something like that. But we were just talking about, normally they don't have that many pit stops here, so it's kind of like you're stuck, locked onto the bumper. Someone looks like Yo, though. That car's really tight right now.
yeah, I think he's looks like he's fighting it a little bit. It looks like it's taking him a little bit longer going into the turns to really hit that kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, the apex, kind of just hugging that bottom line in the groove that everyone else is pretty much running. So yeah, like right here it looks, and then he dips down a little bit towards the second half of the turn. So yeah, I think he's dealing with a little bit of a tightness in the car right there, and maybe get himself a. Can he do an adjustment if he pits? Make a little adjustment, or
no? The only adjustment that they could do,
like tire pressure.
Well, they can't even do tire pressure. They could do, obviously, put on 2 tires, maybe loosen the car up a little bit. That's just a common thing. Or maybe put a different fuel load in to try to loosen it up or something. Other than that, that's about the only thing I think you can do. Brake bias is another thing that you could do. But yeah, you're limited when it comes to the fixed setup. Unlike an open setup where you pretty much got everything at your disposal, like in real life.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that can be brought in as a factor for changing these cars and whatnot, but here I'm not really seeing the lead I was kind of expecting at this point in the race. I still think it's a lot closer than my initial thoughts on it would be.
Right. Yep. Good, and it's a good race so far amongst these drivers. You see Coffey right there trying to work over Zimmerman for second as Carroll maintains that lead. A little bit of distance here between the 4th place man of Joshua Sexton. He's kind of by himself. Tanner's a little bit off, so that pack that we were talking about earlier kind of now split up. Yo behind them, Raymond. So you got a little bit groups here now. Mettler, Raymond right there. Not big pack like it was earlier.
Right, those guys are spread out a little bit more, but those front 2, Zimmerman and Coffey, are still they're definitely within striking distance. I mean, now Carroll's above a second, but I mean, we're almost to lap 50 already.
Yep, got a pass right here. Mettler's going to go up underneath, like Raymond, take that spot away.
short work, but Raymond wants to come back a little bit, see, but it looks like the door got shut on that one pretty quick.
Yeah, not able to capitalize, not able to make that crisscross move over.
Crisscross applesauce.
Good run so far of all these guys.
Yeah, it looks like after overcoming that initial, I'll say, looseness with the cold tires and whatnot, I think these guys definitely kept the lid on it really good and are making for some real good racing here. I mean, like you said, we got those groups here and there split up throughout the track, but these guys are battling it out wherever they're at. So, and that's kind of what you get here. And that's one of the things I do like about short track racing is it is never-ending excitement when it comes to battles for position and everything like that. That's one of the things I really like about this kind of stuff.
It is. Getting a little spread out here. You got Carpenter back in 10th, Everham there in 11th, Barb falling back to 12th, Heath Mack in the 13th. They're kind of out there just riding along. You got to go back up here around about the 8th place spot again before you get into drivers that are really close up. Now you're starting to see the field kind of spread out a little bit. Those times are starting to take a hold on the track, so to speak. This man right here leads it. He's got almost a 2-second lead over Zimmerman. And Coffey's still there on the back end of Zimmerman trying to see if he can't get that second place.
Right, and it honestly, it seems like you said, once Carroll gets up there, it's kind of, and I'm going to use the same line as I used yesterday, it's kind of a battle for that second place spot because this dude is just awesome in these cars and makes it happen. But not to demean or diminish the skill of any of the other guys, but it just seems like he just clicks really well and makes it work. I mean, you can look here at the point standings. The dude, we're how many races in? 7, 8, and the dude's got 3 wins or something like that?
Absolutely, Carroll. He definitely knows how to dominate.
I think 7. This is race 8, I believe.
Oh.
The dude's won half of them.
He has definitely dominated. He knows how to get out here. And that's why I was saying normally, now he's catching lap traffic, but normally he comes through the field. Tonight was able to start out front. I know the guys were talking about it and so forth and so on, but he's looking solid out front, Chris Carroll. Zimmerman's another one here who has had a pretty good season so far. He's been caught up on a few things, but tonight having a good run. And Coffey out there, as long as Coffey can stay off the wall, he'll be okay.
Yeah, just to kind of bring up to speed with points, you got Zimmerman right here sitting in 4th. He's got 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s. Out of 7, I definitely like those numbers. Alex Coffey right there sitting in 6th. 1 win, 2 top 5, 4 top 10s. Like you said, he's had a couple of unscheduled appointments with the wall. But once he can keep it off, he does pretty good from what I see.
He did. Now last week he was having him and the wall was having a fight. So we'll say it like that.
You got a freaking fighter's car for the wall airline.
Yeah, and the wall won several times, a couple times last week. So right now he's lost a little ground to Zimmerman, the 3rd place car, but he's still or 2nd place car. He's still hanging in 3rd. Joshua kind of moving up to the 4th place. Tanner hanging on to 5th. I gotta say though, this is kind of one of those first races this season that we've seen these guys' patience on the track. It just seems like nobody can get ground on anybody else. It's going to be usually a race like this comes out to be more of a pit strategy, fuel mileage or something, but that's just not going to play any factor here in this one. I think it's going to be who makes the first mistake.
Right, and that's what everyone's waiting for. They're waiting for the guy in front of them to make a mistake, just like we saw with sliding up the track. You got Sexton and Marr just kind of working over and capitalizing on that. Perfect example right there. Just coming into that corner. I don't remember if he came in a little too hot or if he was just dealing with the tightness of the car or whatnot. Just a situation that he seems to have put a lid on pretty well for right now. But perfect example, those guys were able to capitalize on the mistake of someone in front of them. That's a benefit, too, of them racing as close as they were in that group. Because, you had 2nd to 8th. That's 6, 7 positions right there. So, perfect example of good timing on the part of those guys that were able to capitalize.
Yeah, and you're right on that one. Definitely, it's frustrating as a driver. Let me say it that way in a race like this, because everybody's kind of even, and there's really not a lot you can do as a driver. I mean, Carroll right now has the field covered. No, I think I was talking to some of the drivers before. I don't know what he does. I don't know how he's able to do it week in and week out. But he's able to just get up there and just take off. He's got this car figured out somehow, some way. And it's frustrating as a driver, like, Zimmerman sitting here in second going, what do I got to do to run him down? But it's not so much, it's not that bad. I was about to say, but I looked at the lap times. Not so bad, because Zimmerman would be very close lap time-wise. But, as I say that, well, he is this time, okay. Lap prior, looks like Zimmerman had a little problem, but Carroll just ran a 18:20 to 18:29, so it's not that Zimmerman is way off the pace and he's running like way slow. It's frustrating because he's running kind of at the pace of what the leader is, but he's just not been able to get that extra couple hundredths or so to be able to get up there with him, trying to find what Carroll and some of these other guys have. As you see, Joshua Sexton now is closed in on Coffee for 3rd place.
Right, it looks like Sexton's been closing that gap little by little as that gap between Zimmerman and Coffee is growing a little bit. Maybe Coffee's slowing up a little bit here. How many times can I say a little bit in the last couple seconds?
Yeah, I mean, I just mentioned it, trying to find that little bit on the track to what's going on. But then in the flip side of that, the car and the tires are going away, and you're trying to manage that. I mean, some guys are better on older tires, some guys are better on newer tires, some guys are better on longer runs. Maybe that's what we're seeing. This might be what this race comes to, attrition, longevity. And Joshua and Tanner right now are showing they've got that, and Coffee may be falling off, not a lot, but he's falling off slowly as the run goes on.
Right, and that happens in and out of every league in real life. You just get those guys that can manage the older tires better. They can somehow make their tires last a little bit longer by tweaking something a little bit, and it works out in the long run for them.
Yep.
And I'm going to put Coffee into one of the category of the dude's usually probably a pedal to the metal guy. He's an exciting guy to watch. That being that, I feel like he's a little aggressive on the track.
Caution out.
Oh.
Willie Evernham, who just came back on the track from pitting. He just came back on and just lost it coming out of the turn. Luckily did not hit anything. So caution here tonight, so this will be interesting to see what these guys do. Now, do you pit as the leader? I think if you're back in 10th place, 8th place, you pit. You get tires, you go in. Maybe, I'm going to say maybe even 6th, 7th place, you might. Never mind, everybody comes in. That just killed them.
I was going to say, I probably would, and I see Kelly's
Carroll came in and brought everybody with him. So forget what I was just about to say right there. And Kelly out there says aggressive is the word. Well, and when we say aggressive, I mean, it doesn't mean that he's a wrecker or anything like that. He pushes the car a little harder at the start than what normally. And there's just guys that do that. There's guys that, kind of are easy on the start. They want to try to, manage throughout with tires, and that's what we talk. I mean, it's just a tendency of drivers. As about all pit road, Zimmerman tried to get him in a Carroll, but wasn't able to do it.
Did a little off-roading right there.
So this takes us back to now, kind of everything we were talking about. Everybody's back on a level playing field. New tires, but you still got, I just want to say, Kelly, in a good way. We still got, you're going to have it's less than 50 to go, about 40 some, 40 give or take. If you're one of those guys, like we're talking about with Coffee, do you push the envelope now at this point and run hard for the rest of the way on out? Because maybe by the time those tires do start to fall off, it'll be towards the end of the race. And hopefully, if let's say you can get out front, you can get far enough ahead. Although we are talking about Carroll, who is a very tough customer to get around, and we've seen that. So basically what I'm saying is on this start, if I'm any of these guys, especially if I'm sitting back in 4th or 5th place spot, I've got to get all I can get on this restart. I can't hold back, because once it goes single file, it's just very tough to come through the field. So here's where we might see where cautions breed cautions, you know that, Alex? And here's where we might see, with the aggressiveness come in, the tempers might flare, people getting mad, stuff like that on the short track end of things. But you kind of have to. You know in the back of your mind that you can't let this race fan back out, or you're just a sitting duck.
Yeah, I think right now is the time to go. It's a perfect time. I mean,
well, 40-some laps on this track will go by fast.
Quick.
Yes. Race car's in, and Carroll's going to get a good jump, and you already see back there Coffee doing what we were just talking about. He's got to be aggressive on the start and try to get around Zimmerman the best he can. And you see it right there, and it cost him, and that is a perfect example of what I was talking about. I mean, right there, and unfortunately, Coffee's going to pay the price, and we're going to go into caution. No, we didn't. Really?
Huh?
We ain't going to caution for that.
There was another car or two that was...
Yeah, well, let's go back on the replay and watch. And I don't really... I mean, Coffee had to do this. He had to... Looks like Yo was another one down there. Way down at the bottom, you see Mettler involved in it. Okay, well, Yo was able to keep going. Mettler stuck in the wall. I bet you he toes. The one I'm really curious about is this right here, because that should have thrown... Yeah, there's that wall again. That should have thrown the caution. I don't get it.
I mean...
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, folks, I'm puzzled on that one. I mean, I've always seen iRacing sometimes go crazy, but again, let's go back and assess what happened on that. Really, that to me, Coffee had to do what he had to do there. That's he had to try to get everything. The problem is, and I think Tanner has said this before, the track is only going to give you so much. Actually, no, I remember her saying we do a dirt track, and there's one dirt track that has no walls around it on the corners, and it's real easy to go over the edge. That track is only going to give you so much. Well, this place here and these short tracks are only going to give you so much, and we saw it right there. The tires are cold. You're going to get, you're really loose on the start. We just, Thomas has just brought that up with the setup. It's very loose at the start until the tires get heated. Coffee obviously felt that, and then the wall's right there. So Yeah, I'm with you there, Kelly, on the crazy part of why I didn't throw a caution. I guess iRacing fell asleep on that one, but Zimmerman turning up the heat a little bit, trying to see if he can't run down Carroll, and I think this is the right move. He's got to get up there and pressure him, Alex.
Yeah, I think so. Going into the coffee situation real quick, I think, honestly, I'm right there with you, Joe. I think that was exactly what he needed to do. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately for him, this was one of those times that it just did not work out that well.
No.
But moving into Zimmerman right here, I think he's doing what he's got to do. He's not going to let Carroll run away with this. I think he's gonna push it a little bit and try and get there and secure that lead. Because we both know if this just keeps going, it's going to be harder and harder for him to pass Carroll. I mean,
and you don't want Carroll to get comfortable up there,
right? Whether it be Carroll getting a nice cushy, maybe half a second to a second lead. Whether it be he puts a car in between the two of them, something like that.
Absolutely.
But I think Zimmerman's doing what he's got to do right now and try and not let Carroll run away with this one. I don't know if I'm supposed to call you Kelly or Mrs. Coffee.
Oh, well, I've been saying Kelly, and she ain't yelled at me yet, so brew some coffee at me. How's that? I'm good. I usually say Mom, too, so there you go. Yeah, just unfortunate, like I say, with Coffee out there, Alex, he kind of gets caught up in a lot of mishaps. Now here's something. Mettler's in between the two. The lap car there, unfortunately, got caught up in that mess. You can see Zimmerman runs into the turn and gets a good run going into the turn. Problem is he loses a lot of momentum coming off. So he's driving that thing into those turns right now.
Yeah, and then he's got to whoa up a little bit there in the middle, and he just doesn't have the exit speed that some of these guys do. But he made quick work there of Mettler right there. That's what he needed to do, and Coffee's still right there within striking distance as we hit 25 to go. That time past the line.
And the two, I'm looking at these lap times, Alex. Last time, Zimmerman ran a 17:89 to an 18:02. I know it's not much, but that's something we didn't see prior, so he is running a tick faster. Maybe if he can get to that bumper of Carroll, maybe upset that car a little bit.
Yeah, I think right now we could bring in the bump and run into the conversation. I'm getting a little excited over here.
I know, man. I'm telling you, we like it, and we don't want nobody wrecking anybody out there. But, you know, I go back to on the Coffee incident earlier is, to me, that was just two guys racing hard. And unfortunately, you know, cold tires and a bad and a really slick, loose setup. I don't want to say bad setup, but loose, slick setup played a huge factor there. Just two guys, you know, because they were side by side at the time. And to me, that's just great racing. I mean, short track wise. And I'd like to see what would happen if Zimmerman could get to the back door there at Carroll, but I just can't quite break through this barrier right here.
Yeah, I mean, now that Carroll's got that daylight in front of him, you know that guy's going to do his best to get away from Zimmerman. He doesn't want to contest with him either. But
meanwhile, you got Tanner hanging on the third here.
Yeah, Tanner's got some space between himself and Zimmerman, and also himself and Joshua Sexton back there. So I think he's sitting pretty comfortably where he's at. He just don't want to make any mistakes.
Nope.
And I think he's going to do a pretty good job of that, keeping a good head on his shoulders and whatnot. Just kind of see what he can get. Because 19 laps to go, that's not a lot of time. I don't see him really.
What is your girlfriend doing in the background? She's tearing up the kitchen?
Yeah, you know, something I can't say on the...
I mean, sounds like she's rearranging her building a whole new countertop back there or something.
Nah, these ones are heavy. I've already tried. Don't worry. Those ones are good.
I hear back they say, I hear splam in the back. I'm like, what in the world is she doing? I've never heard anybody that much. I thought she did the dishes last night.
A new day, Joe. A new day.
How many dishes do you use in a day?
So far, me, 0.
Good night. Okay. Must be feeding everybody in the complex, I reckon. So there you go.
I'm just glad there's no dog chirping the squeaky toy right here.
If y'all don't know, we were doing a race last night, folks, and I heard in the background after the race, I said, hey, is somebody doing dishes last night or something? And he said, yeah, my fiance was in the back doing them. And again, I heard it there a minute. I'm like, she must love the kitchen. Hey, nothing wrong with that, I guess. But,
I'm not complaining.
There you go. These guys are loving this race so far, too. Hope everybody's enjoying it out here. So it's been a good one, actually. It's just one caution earlier on. Carroll's been the man in control of it right now. Unfortunately, it's like Zimmerman. He is still there a little bit, maybe falling off just a tick because that out front. An unusual turn of events earlier, if you just saw him, with Alex Coffey on the restart. Kind of scratched her head on why caution didn't fly there on that one, because he was sitting sideways in the middle of the track, kind of, racing, I guess, fell asleep. But 12 to go in this one here tonight. Five Kings Motorsports, Crooked Line Racing, super modifieds out here, late modifieds that is. And it's just been a good, solid, clean race so far with these guys.
Yeah, it has, right? Like, same thing, Joe. I'm pretty stumped on how they didn't end up throwing a caution for that wreck with Coffee and whatnot, because that was more involved, I feel, than the one they actually threw the caution for. So
yeah. I'm with you there, yeah, because actually the one that Willie had, he just slipped down. Yeah, he just slid through it. So
you had a guy backwards on the track for that one. You had the other guy in the wall. Like, literally, he couldn't go anywhere. He was stuck. Like, what?
Again, right here, Carroll trying to extend that lead on Zimmerman's up to almost about a second, 9/10 right now over Zimmerman, who is maintaining pretty good. Got Tanner Marr. He is holding on to third. Been able to get up here. He's looking for a good podium finish here tonight. Scotty Stevens having a good run in fourth place, though.
Yeah, he's coming up. What? He was back there. What was he battling back in? What, around 8th, 9th, 10th?
Yeah, he was earlier. Yeah.
Definitely making up some ground here for a good run for himself.
And you got Joshua Sexton hanging on to the fifth place spot. Jason Raymond up to 6th. Brad Carpenter there in 7th. Frank Barb having a good run here in 8th. In 9th place, you got Brandon Metler, who was caught up in that wreck. Able to keep going. Keith Mack rounds the top 10. Bradley Yo, he's the last man on the lead lap. Then you got Willie Evernham. And Alex Coffey, unfortunately, like they're out of the race here already tonight, but was caught up in the incidents early.
Right, and everybody's surviving. Surviving pretty good. Carroll's a little comfortable up here. Definitely.
About a second lead.
Yeah, that's not what Zimmerman wanted, but I'd still be happy with the second place finish.
Oh, absolutely. 4 to go here.
But you never know. You never know what could happen. Maybe he'll spin out. Maybe he'll.
There you go. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. You don't know. It could end up with a, spin out or anything like that. Carroll's there.
It ain't
to see if Zimmerman can get there too.
Maybe a caution gets thrown right on this lap, and we get a green-white checker or something. I don't know, Joe.
You get that white flag, I always say it didn't matter. They can kill themselves on the track. iRacing not going to throw any cautions with Obviously, earlier we saw they weren't going to throw any cautions anyways. But white flag one more time for this man, Chris Carroll, who has pretty much dominated the race from lap 1 on. That's impressive as he comes out of 3 and 4. He's going to win it here at new Smyrna. I'm going to say Smyrna. No, it's probably wrong, but Smyrna Raceway here tonight for the Five Kings Motorsports Crooked Line Racing. Zimmerman comes home in second. Tennemar brings her home in third. That's a good finish and a good race here tonight.
That was definitely a good race by these guys. I mean, there he goes, sending her. Man. Woo!
He's just going to send it on down pit road and say heck with it.
I am done with this loosey-goosey track.
There he goes for the burn. He's going to do the burnout in pit road.
Oh, he's going to hit the gender-neutral pace car.
Yeah.
Or go through it, I should say.
Absolutely.
No Kyle Bushes out here.
No. Want that to happen.
Nah.
If we can't get some of these guys up here and get a word with them. We're at third place man, Tanner Marr. Let's get a word with him.
Hey, Tanner, it's Alex up at the booth. You got me, man?
Yeah, I got you. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, dude? So, pretty good race tonight, I'd say. How would you pronounce this track's name? Let me get that out of the way first.
Smyrna.
Yeah, Tanner's like me. I called it Smyrna. I was all over the place, man.
There's a Y.
I've heard it all different ways. The way I've heard it the most is New Smyrna. But
Okay.
now, I'm a hillbilly from Kentucky as well, so that's not saying a whole lot.
Yeah, me and Tanner, I think we've had this conversation many times, haven't we, Tanner?
Yes, sir, we have.
But man, so okay, let me go through how the race kind of started. Got a little insight that the cars were a little loose until the tires heated up a little bit, and then it got a little bit more under control. Is that kind of what happened, or how did that kind of roll out throughout the race?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, Alex. I mean, so it would fire off pretty loose, but then after about 4 laps, like you were parking at the corner, I was faster in practice, man. Thought I was going to be good. Took a break, came back, and just laid a big fat egg in qualifying and just never overcome it. Frustrating.
Well, you're still up here talking to us, so
That's what I told my team, Alex. I was like, I'm gonna sound like a crybaby in my interview. I finished third, and I'm sitting here mad at the world. But I can't figure out how to finish either second or get that loose and win, man. It's been a while since I've gotten victory lane, and best I can never get third now. It seems.
well, man, third's better than fourth and fifth, and all that is
That's
how
right.
I'll put it. But okay, so I'm gonna go into pit strategy a little bit with you. If there wasn't that caution just past halfway, would you guys have even thought about pitting or no?
So Josh was Sexton and myself. We pushed hard at the beginning, then we kind of plateaued out, and then we figured out, dropped the brake bias down all the way, helped the car rotate, and I heard numerous times from crew chief that I was the fastest car on track. So me and Sexton were saying, okay, we're catching the leaders. We're driving them down. We may run out of laps, but we're catching them. So I didn't want tires to even come into the equation. I was begging it just to stay green. But once the caution fell, I knew pit road was going to be busy. And, I mean, it was. But, no, I didn't. I did not want to pit at all.
Well, that brings a little bit more insight up to here, because Joe and I were talking about it, and then, like, what seems to be the broadcaster's jinx that we seem to bring pretty frequently, it just happened. And then there was a caution, and everybody and their mother went down, pretty much.
Yeah, very busy pit road. I actually lost 2 spots on pit road, too. So, shout out to my pit crew for being on the ball there. They did me a big favor losing 2 spots on pit road.
Yeah, big shout outs to the pit crew. Anyways, anybody else you want to give a shout out to besides the pit crew for this third place finish here tonight, man?
Absolutely. First, I think the family-owned business by my mom and my grandma. That's Building Blocks Child Care Center. A little small daycare, but they help me with sim equipment, stuff like that if I need it. Then we got to thank thebuckhere.com. Promo code 5Kings. Get you 20% off your entire order. That's a pretty big discount when you're talking $200 for a piece of sim equipment. MF Racing Designs, BAM Racing Videos, McConey Setup Shop. Once again, promo code the number 5Kings. They'll get you 10% off. Raise Energy, same thing. Promo code 5Kings. And FB Sim Racing Custom Button Boxes. And I think that's it from the laundry list. And of course, got to thank the OSRN Network. Y'all do a good job, and I enjoy calling the races on Tuesday nights with Joe.
Heck yeah, man. Well, congratulations again on your third place finish after a pretty exciting race here tonight at New Smyrna Raceway. Man, look forward to talking to you again soon.
Hey, maybe we'll be in victory lane this time. Thank you, boys, for calling the action. Y'all do a good job, and maybe we'll be talking to y'all next week. Thank y'all.
There you go, third place man, Tanner Marr, definitely doing what he needs to do. Well, let's bring up second place guy here, Zimmerman, who tried to run down the leader here tonight. Let's get a word with him.
Brian Zimmerman, Alex, up at the booth. You got me, man?
Yeah, I got you, Alex.
Great. What's up, dude? So, pretty strong race here tonight. How you feeling?
Man, feeling great. A lot of fun out there tonight. Really good long green flag runs there. Probably our best race of the year as far as caution flags go. It might have been a little boring to broadcast. Chris Carroll stinking up the show, being so fast as he is. But other than that, man, it was a great run.
Dude, he wasn't the only fast one out there. I'll tell you. I'm not going to let you give him all the credit, because otherwise you wouldn't be up here talking with us right now.
Well, we had a little bit for him early in the run. That last 60-lap run, I was trying to do all I could to hang on his bumper and save as much as I could, but he was just too good. Right there towards the end, I'd heated those rears up too much. Just didn't have anything for him. He was just super fast tonight.
Yeah, man, you were fast too. We were kind of wondering if you were going to be knocking on that door after that green flag dropped after that caution, man. It looked like you were pretty close there.
Yeah, early, I think I could have maybe pushed it a little harder at the beginning. If I had to go back, I would probably try to push it. I was really just trying to save and get to those last 15, 20 laps. But after I got about 35 laps on those tires, I just didn't have anything for him. So on that last restart, I missed my shift from second to third and stacked it up a little bit. Let somebody get on my outside there, and I was trying to hold it on that inside when we got together. Alex Coffey, I think it was, and he was trying to squeeze me down a little bit. Then he got loose and got in the wall. I hated that happen, but yeah, I didn't. I should have pushed a little harder that first 15 laps on Carroll. Maybe tried to get to him, but he was just so much faster than us. I don't think I could have got around him.
Heck yeah, man. Well, still had a very fast car here tonight. Definitely exciting there at the end. We were kind of wondering. We were like, oh, is he gonna get him? Is he gonna, and all that? But man, still wrapping it up here, getting a second place finish. I mean, can't really complain too much about that. But anybody want to give a shout out to or thank for this awesome finish here?
Yeah, man, we'd like to thank the guys at A51 Pro, team I'm on there, and also like to thank the guys over at Pit Lizard Performance. I'm running with the league. We're here with them, with Chris Carroll, and of course Bradley Yo and Larry Bell. He's doing some spotting for Chris. He's part of the team, so we thank those guys, and we just appreciate y'all guys up in the booth and everyone with Crooked Line Racing. Y'all doing a great job. It's been a lot of fun, and looking forward to next week.
Heck yeah, man. Well, congratulations again, that second place finish. Look forward to talking to you soon, man.
Sounds great, Alex. Appreciate it, guys. Looking forward to watching that replay.
There you go. Zimmerman coming home in second here tonight. Well, this guy here, Chris Carroll, he just covered the field. Chris, you in the booth, got a copy?
Got a big fat copy, Joe.
Well, I tell you what, you got out front, led it all here tonight. Was you a little worried with that caution that came out, though?
You know what? Zimmerman almost beat me out of the pits. He is really good at hitting the marks, getting in the pit stall. And I was a little bit worried that he beat me out. He's really, really good at that. So, other than that, I mean, I'm racing for points. Me and Tanner are racing for a championship there. And, I mean, first or second wouldn't hurt either way. So, I'm just trying to keep it up front.
Hey, well, definitely up front is where it was all night long. Out front, leading it. Normally we're used to seeing you come through the field. Do you think you could have came through the field at this track here?
No, I don't think so. I really focused on my qualifying lap, so I didn't have to do that. Me and Tanner spoke about it before the race, and he said he messed up his lap, and I said good luck getting up through there, because it's really, really hard to pass here, and it's really, really hard to fight for one lane. There's one lane in turn 1. There's 2 lanes in turn... there's one lane in turn 3 and 4. There's 2 lanes in 1 and 2, but it's really hard to get the pass done from the bottom.
Yeah, there you go. Well, once you got out front, you were able to maintain, put it in victory lane here tonight. Good win for you here. You got anybody you want to thank for an awesome finish?
Yeah, I have to thank Brian Zimmerman. He's my sponsor, that USAFirearms.com Chevy there. He sponsors me to get in all these series, and he sponsors that car. And if you want to get some firearms, you talk to him. He'll tell him I sent you. I got to thank my friends and family for watching tonight, and you guys for putting on the broadcast, and obviously Tanner and Josh for putting on this series. Those guys don't get thanked enough, Joe. They put their heart and soul into this thing and give us a place to race. So got to thank those guys.
Absolutely. I tell you what, good finish, good win here tonight. Again, congratulations on a good finish to that win here at New Smyrna.
Thank you, sir. I hate this track, so as far as I'm concerned, they could fill it full of water and make it a lake, so I'm pretty happy to sneak out of here with a win.
There you go. Well, have at it, man, tonight there. Chris Carroll put it victory lane. He said he don't like it, but definitely dominated it here tonight. Good finish, good race. All in all, Alex, I enjoyed it. I think the guys here at Five Kings Motorsports Crooked Line Racing put on an outstanding show.
Absolutely, Joe, and I'm definitely liking how some of these guys do their interviews. 'Cause, I mean, he's like, I'm pretty sure almost every week or every other week the dude that wins is like, I don't like this track at all, and then somehow they win. I think that's kind of ironic and pretty funny, but seeing these guys put on a great show like you said tonight here just makes it more and more exciting for me with you, Joe. So that's all I got.
Hey, I tell you what, well, folks, hope you enjoyed it. For myself and everybody here at Five Kings Crooked Line Racing, everyone, have a good night.